In January of this year, ARA hosted a group of employees from General Motors to tour Fox Auto Parts in Belleville, Michigan, just outside of Detroit. Executive Director Sandy Blaylock, President Scott Robertson, Co-Chair of ARA's Government Affairs Committee Slater Schroyer, and Larry Williams, the General Manager of Fox Auto Parts, were the hosts. The tour escorted the group through the entire process of inventorying, dismantling, storage, sales, shipping, and even crushing. The General Motors team was focused on sustainability and how they can minimize waste when designing vehicles. The visit was inspired by an ongoing conversation between Sandy Blaylock and Sophia Baroni-Bird, who is the sustainability lead at General Motors. Baroni-Bird is also the General Motors representative within the Suppliers Partnership. The Suppliers Partnership is a group of OEMs and their suppliers working together to develop ideas on how the industry plans to advance environmental sustainability through the automotive supply chain.
One thing I found interesting, I just didn't realize how independent this whole industry is, how each facility operates in a different way and decides to keep things, reuse things, resell things, and then ultimately how it gets sent to the scrapper and what parts get recycled was all just completely interesting to me.
What I found interesting was when you started talking about your business case, 86% of the stuff being pulled out of the cars, being able to be reused, that's a lot higher than I would have guessed. And that really the engine and transmission is what makes it and breaks it today in terms of the profitability. So as we go to EVs, we're going to need to be thinking about that in order to be able to sustain the industry, in order to be able to drive this type of technology development. So
Absolutely.
thank you very, very much.
You're welcome.
It's just how efficient you are in pulling all the parts off the vehicle. So it's amazing that how complicated an automobile is and how many pieces are, and then you have just this little piece of metal at the end. It looks like you get everything of value out there. I think it's on us to make sure that things are of value so that there's a business case to keep them going and sustainable.
The other thing that I found really interesting was learning that the fluff is used on landfills.
How important the software management system was, sort of the back end infrastructure for how all this thing works and just how interconnected all these facilities are with one another. It was really interesting.
Well, I think it's just really interesting that there's a whole market to support the reuse and refurbishing of these pieces and parts, and that's supporting and creating a demand and allowing this, it's not just a altruistic thing, right? There's a whole market to support reuse of these parts, and like Suzette said, there's a lot more of that than I thought. It's way more comprehensive down to all the different pieces. So yeah, learned a lot as well. Thanks.
I'm really impressed with how much is already recycled, so that's actually great news to hear that. But I'm thinking of some of the initiatives that we're currently working on, maybe around sustainable materials, and I'm starting to understand more after seeing some of what we call the fluff and all, where some of those materials really, we should be looking at what's more biodegradable. If we're really trying to do something that's best for the environment, that might be the better focus.
For help scheduling a facility tour or reaching out to your elected officials, please contact ARA today at staff@a-r-a.org. Let's make sure automotive recyclers always have a seat at the table.